I seem to have lost what I'm looking for. I hate when that happens. Good noon. Welcome to what we like to think of as your Sunday spiritual indulgence. We are here to help you heal, help you make your life bigger and better, assist you in connecting to your spiritual center where with God all things are possible. That's why we're here. We would like to think that we make you feel better if you're feeling bad, that we can make you feel even better if you're feeling good, and that we can act as a spiritual urgent care if that happens to be where you are on any given day or moment. And know that you can check back in with us on live on Wednesdays at 7, every Sunday at noon. And the rest of the time we're up here and we're posted, so just jump on. You can go to this same page and find a lot of talks if you just keep scrolling down. So join us. Come be part of our spiritual family. We'd like that very much. Now, let's see if I can find what it was I was looking for. It was here a minute ago, but you know how that goes, don't you? You just kind of close your eyes for a second and things disappear. You close your eyes and click something you shouldn't click, probably. Anyway, Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science and the author of the book called The Science of Mind, used to open his television and radio shows with the words, "There is a power for good in the universe, and you can use it." He said it more powerfully than that, but that's my take. And I know it's absolutely true. And the greater truth is that you can't not use it. You're using it all the time. It is done unto you as you believe. That's the power. The important part of Dr. Holmes' admonition was to remember to use it for good. So think about it for a moment. If it is done unto me as I believe, and I believe I am blessed, I believe life is good, I believe that it's going to be even better tomorrow, then it is done unto me as I believe. It really is. But if I believe that life sucks, if I believe that I'm cursed, if I believe that life just never works out for me, or as a friend of mine said the other day, I believe that all good turns to bad, and that happiness is just not for me, well, then that's the way it keeps looking. It's a mental cycle that creates a material reality. So I'm going to ask you to listen to the following words and consider them in light of who you are and how your life has been. Just listen. We are here to remember who we are. We are children of creation. We are here to remember that we are created in the image and likeness of God, of creation, of the universe, of spirit, whatever you choose to call the creative motivating force in the universe, because I don't believe it cares what you call it. We are here to heal our misconceptions and to release whatever beliefs we may hold that no longer serve us. We are here to learn how to use our divine inheritance as children of creation to make our lives and our world a better place. We are here to be awake, to inspire, to uplift, to heal, and to make whole our lives and our world. I believe that's why we're here. And that's why we're here where we are, to try to point that out, because knowing that changes your life. And changing your life will ultimately change the world. Now, I love to get you thinking right from the get-go, because the last thing I would ask you to do is to leave your brain at the door. So here's this morning's question. Do you too often find yourself walking in circles, going round and round, and for all your efforts getting nowhere? Or do you find yourself walking into walls, real or symbolic? And do you wonder why you keep creating the same scenario over and over, and wonder why and how to break that cycle? Think on that, will you, while I launch into what I'm going to talk about today? While you are listening, and I hope you will listen, think about how what is being said might just help answer your questions. Think, please. Listen, please. And then we'll chat. Fair enough? So, I believe that way too often we wonder, what path should I be taking? What choice do I make? And in our confusion or fear or bewilderment, we lose track of the fact that wherever we are, we walk with God. That with faith we have to put just one foot in front of the other, knowing that our steps are taking us exactly where we need to go. We forget that there is prayer and there are other tools that we can use to get to the heart of the matter, the heart of truth. One of my favorite tools is the Labyrinth, because it's all about getting to the awareness of Spirit's presence in our lives, about being truly centered. I had the honor of walking the Labyrinth at Grace Cathedral several times, and a few of those times with Lauren Artris, who is the woman who really spearheaded the Labyrinth movement in America, and who wrote a wonderful book entitled Walking a Sacred Path. My copy, I don't like to mark pages, so I tend to use Post-its. My copy has Post-its on nearly every page because of the quality of the content. You can get a copy of the book, I'm sure, and a lot of other information by going to her website. Her organization is Veriditas, and the website is veriditas.org, Veriditas. Over the years, Veriditas has sponsored many Labyrinth-related events, my personal favorite being the Woman's Dream Quest, which was, at one time, held on a regular basis at Grace Cathedral in San Francisco. Pandemic, I think, has changed that a bit, but I know in time it will be back because it's transformative. I went to the Dream Quest several times as a personal retreat and with friends and members of my church to connect with Spirit away from the business of running a church, and to gain clarity on the next steps in leading that church. At the Dream Quest, after a few gatherings in small groups, we were simply set free to spend the night in the cathedral. It wasn't necessarily comfortable, but that wasn't the point. We had the ability to walk the Labyrinth at any hour, which I did, and it was glorious. And then those of us who had finally surrendered to sleep were awakened by beautiful voices softly singing, "Morning has broken." I get chills still just thinking about it. Over the years, I had the opportunity to talk to a lot of women at the Dream Quest. Some of them old Labyrinth walkers, and and some new to the experience, each bringing a different expectation to their labyrinth walk. Each, in some way, looking for love. God love, self-love, some even romantic love. Miracles occurred on the labyrinth. And if love makes the world go round, the labyrinth seemed to be the right path to get there. And even after all these years, I am connected on a deep spiritual level with many wonderful souls who were committed to their own spiritual growth. And also to some very special women who supported me in mine. Jean Shimoda Bolen wrote, "If we are spiritual beings on a human path, rather than human beings on a spiritual path, then life is not only a journey, but a pilgrimage as well." A pilgrimage. Life on a journey, a quest, if you will. I'd like to tell you a story. This isn't a parable. It's very true. A woman who had been one of my all-time favorite assistant ministers walked the labyrinth that we had installed at our church and then left the church because she felt a real call to go to the Kenai Peninsula in Alaska and start a church there, which she did. And she'd been there for some time when one of the people in her foundations class asked for her help. She said she wanted the greatest, most loving relationship imaginable. She had already had a few not-so-great relationships. She wanted to be happy, to be excited about the future, to be in love. Specifically, she said she wanted a significant relationship. So the two of them started praying and kept it up, and admittedly, nothing showed up right away. But the student began to change. She began to reach out into the world to dream dreams and see visions for her life. You know, the Bible says your young men will see visions and your old men will dream dreams. Apparently, middle-aged women get to do both. So her prayers branched out into a wider focus. Finally, as the result of a deep calling within her, she made the decision to leave home. She signed up for a master's course in art sculpture in another state. So she left Alaska for 2 years to grow and study, and she promised she would keep praying. She had been there for 6 months when she was presented with the opportunity to travel to Italy for a very special class that was being offered by a master teacher. Her first thoughts, could she afford it? She prayed, she signed up, and she went. In Italy, her teacher told the group about a small village where much of the world's finest marble could be found. You don't see much of that in Alaska. So she took a train, a bus, and then a cab of sorts to get there. She went, and it was awesome. When she returned and told the class, even the teacher said, "You actually went there?" The teacher didn't think anyone would actually go. It was too hard to get there. She didn't think so. At the end of 2 years, she went home to Alaska, but not for long. She knew she had to go back and study with the master, which she did. My friend the minister talked to her before she made the return trip. Prayer works. That's a direct quote from the traveler. She said she was never so happy, never so excited about her own future, never so in love with life. Is there a significant relationship in her life? Oh, yes, there is. And it is with the source of life and love and wonder within her. She's not waiting for someone else to make her happy or whole now. And she's happier than she's ever been. She may or may not have ended up in a relationship with another person. I don't know. But I do know that she was awfully busy just being happy. So what was the secret? What did she do? Because we all want to know how to do it, don't we? First, she recognized that she felt lost. So she went within and figured out what she really wanted. And then she prayed. Centering herself in a larger truth, she connected to the divine. And once she had done that, she went out into the world expecting to find what she was looking for there. She put one foot in front of the other and followed where prayer and inner guidance led her. And it led her to a different state of the union, and a different state of mind, a state of consciousness, to a very different environment, to a different opportunity, to a different path, a path much less traveled. None of the other students went to that little town. To a different life and to the answer to her prayers. She literally took a pilgrimage of the heart, the mind, and the body. And it changed everything. Now, I'd like you to imagine that you're on a pilgrimage. We can use the Labyrinth, if you'd like, as a map. This one was a gift from a very dear friend. Starting that kind of pilgrimage of the soul on the Labyrinth or anywhere else is first about making the decision to go in. Letting go of people, maybe, places, perhaps, old cherished ideas about the way it has to be. Oh, absolutely. Everyone can learn something. Everyone. No one knows everything. And some of the things you think you know are wrong. We've got to make room in our lives, in our minds, in our spirits. Most of us are too full already. Too full of ourselves, our memories, our rightness, our fears. We have to let go and make room for spirit. If we cling to our old ideas and assumptions, then there's no room in our minds or our hearts or our lives for anything new. Whether it is a relationship, an opportunity, or an adventure. As we begin the journey and take the first few steps, questions arise. What is this? Where am I going? The search for inner happiness is a quest for wholeness. Quest, from the Latin, to seek. Questions are powerful allies on a spiritual journey. It is good that questions arise, because where we are headed, we can find the answers. And it is good whether we are walking on a labyrinth or simply taking a walk. The questions remain the same. Where am I? Because you understand, the minute you know you are not where you want to be, you are no longer lost. Who am I? Really, when I let go of who I think I am, who am I? What more do I think I need to feel sufficient? happy? What more do I really need to be effective in my life? What do I need to know? What do I need to forgive? What do I need to let go? The labyrinth is a metaphor for our lives. It is a path that allows our life to become transparent to us so that we can see deeply within. Listen deeply. It takes practice. See deeply, which means we have to look. The answers may not come immediately, but questions are living things, and something in motion will keep moving until it finds fulfillment. In our ongoing search for what we desire, whether it be success or love or acceptance or wholeness, we often find ourselves looking over our shoulders to see if anyone else is on the path. Someone to save us, or someone with whom we might share our hopes and dreams. The thing is, we're looking in the wrong direction. Look within. In this walk, on a labyrinth walk, we walk with God at the center, and at the center of our being. And we are walking with our questions, questing into the heart of God. As we approach the center, we begin to understand that we are very close to the essence of wisdom, wholeness, truth, revelation. All of that is at the center of the labyrinth. And as with all labyrinths, no matter how complicated they may be, the truth is, once you step on the path, you'll get to center if you just keep walking. You will get to the center if you stay on the path. And the path is amazingly clear once you are on it. A labyrinth is not a maze. Don't confuse them. There is no intention to trap you or to confuse you. If you just keep putting one foot in front of the other, you will reach the center. And once you are at the center, the heart of spirit, imagine that you are standing within the heart of creation. And there is awareness. There is peace. There is illumination. Trust what you feel. Peace, illumination, surety, whatever you desire or how to create it, might not break through into your consciousness in that moment, but it starts percolating there. And it will reveal itself in the perfect time. Once you have been to the center, once your mind and your heart and your spirit are filled, then the next step is to go back where you came from. Back into the real world, retracing your steps, returning to life, taking what you have felt and using what you have learned to make your life deeper and richer. The center, the place where heaven and earth meet, is pointless if it doesn't become your realization of the words on earth as it is in heaven. It is about union. When we integrate our spirit with spirit, when we integrate what is revealed to us in the heart of God consciousness, when we integrate that spiritual information with the actions in our lives, we change our lives. When we walk, not just talk our vision, we change the world. Now, while it is true that the labyrinth is a symbolic journey of the soul, the results are tangible, real. Thomas Merton once wrote, "Our real journey in life is interior. It is a matter of growth, deepening, and of ever greater surrender to the creative action of love and grace in our lives and our hearts. Then the outer life is transformed." The psalmist said much the same thing, but he put it this way: "Happy are those whose strength is God, for their hearts are set upon the pilgrimage. God is their sun and their shield. Grace and glory he gives them." And he goes on to say, "God withholds no good things from those who walk sincerely." No good things. Not love, not joy, not peace, not healing, not promise. God withholds no good thing from those who walk sincerely. But pay attention, the first step must be yours. And it is the decision to begin. Whether it is a journey in consciousness or a journey on the labyrinth or a journey in life, there really is no difference. The first labyrinths were created so that pilgrims who couldn't travel to the Holy Lands, because it wasn't safe to travel to the Holy Lands, could make a symbolic journey and still make that spiritual connection. Perhaps you don't need a labyrinth to do the work. But if you feel you do, there are several closer to home than you realize waiting for you, wherever you are in the world. Just Google labyrinthlocator.com. Labyrinthlocator.com. You know, with or without the labyrinth, the important part is that if you feel lost, if you really want to change your life, then make the decision to begin. To take the first steps, to be willing to ask the questions, bless the questions, and then to listen for the answers. And then, no longer lost, to take your new wisdom back into the world. Should you make the decision to take the pilgrimage, and I encourage you to do so, know that the God of love is with you. You are safe. You are protected as you take your first steps. And may God's speed be yours on your journey. May the questions arrive, and may you find the answers and take the action. And know that with each courageous step, you go with God. For in fact, you can go no other way. Well, that must be a sign from the universe.
Call from Callahan, John J.
That's my buddy at the Unity Church. He's the equivalent of a practitioner in Unity. And we work together whenever I speak to the Unity Church, so it's nice to know he's there. Nice timing, John. Thank you. So, my friends, where are you in your life? Where are you on your path? Do you trust, and you must, that the path is taking you where you want to go? And are you willing to sign up for the quest? To get on the path and walk it wherever it may lead. You know, the thing about a labyrinth is that it's not a direct path right to the center. Well, it is, but it doesn't look like it. And often as you're walking the path, it seems that it is sending you way off in another direction. And just as you feel like you may be getting close to center there, I'm almost there, it'll send you back out and around. You will travel, if you walk a labyrinth, especially this form of labyrinth, you will travel every one of these little circuits, these crossbacks. But if you stay on the path, you will get to center. You must. It's not a trick. It's a way to the center of your soul. And it is a gentle, beautiful, heart-opening way. Yes, it is a beautiful labyrinth, isn't it, Laura? Thank you. I love this. This is actually called a finger labyrinth. You can also get ones that are just printed out and just let your finger do the walking along the path. It's a little harder to stay on. This one's embossed on this side, so it's physically a little easier to stay on the path, while one that is one-dimensional is a little more difficult. You can go to Google and Google labyrinth images, and a zillion of them will pop up, and you can just take that and print it out. Thank you, CAC, for finding the worldwide labyrinth locator. You will be amazed. You just zero in on your country, and then your state, and then your city. There are 3 or 4 in the almost immediate area just right here in Ventura. So I know those of you that live in even more populated areas can easily find a labyrinth. They're everywhere. There was a time when I would have said just go and walk it. Because of the pandemic, I would strongly suggest that you call ahead and make sure that they're open, because a lot have now special hours, but they will be open and you can walk it. Or print out a finger labyrinth, a printed one, and center yourself. Just really center yourself and say, and tell yourself as you go in, I know I will find what I'm looking for. I know that I will find the answers that I seek. And then go. And when you get to the center, just be open. Here I am, Lord. Here I am. Yeah, Brenda. You know, the one we had in Burbank was a canvas labyrinth. The one at Grace Cathedral now is an 800-pound carpet. It's huge and it's thick and it's wonderful. The one we had in Burbank, as I said, was canvas. It was created by members of the church. I came back from a labyrinth experience and said, we've got to build one of these. So we did. And it was, I believe, the first one in Southern California. And like the second or the third outside of Grace Cathedral in California at all. And we loved it. And I don't know where it is. I'm going to assume it's still the property of the Burbank Church. You can't see my kitty, but you can see his ear. There's his ear. Hi. Spirit's here. For those of you that don't know, Spirit is my cat's name. We didn't do that to him. His name was already Spirit when we got him. He's a rescue. And He is spirited. Oh, great, Cac. Thank you. She's even downloaded how to get to printing out a finger labyrinth. I highly recommend the book. Wait a minute. I'll get it. There it is. Walking a Sacred Path by Lauren Artris. You can get, I'm sure, used copies for probably next to nothing. It's fabulous. Spirit wants to promote his book as well, so we will. My First Autobiography by Spirit the Cat. It's pretty good stuff. It's pretty good. You don't have to like cats. This is funny. In fact, if you don't like cats, you'd probably enjoy it even more because it's all of his antics and the things that he gets into, which are mega. And he just turned 1 year old, so he's officially a cat now. And it's, you notice it says my first autobiography, so he's planning on writing many more. In fact, he's already making notes on his second autobiography. And those of us who are in the art department for the book are already turning out pictures. Oh, thank you, Donna. What a great piece of information. Every October, they create a labyrinth in the cornfield at Tapia Brothers vegetable stand. Can you give us more information on that? And thank you for the book review. Spirit appreciates it. It's good stuff. It is good stuff. It'll make you smile. And you know, don't we all love stuff that makes us smile? Oh, Donna, thank you. The illustrations were very fun to do. I moaned and carried on and complained almost the entire time I was working on them. And the minute I finished the last one, I went, oh, oh, there aren't any more. And then Cac said, hold on, we're starting on number 2. So I have notes on number 2. Just south of the 101 freeway on Havenhurst. I love that. Okay, so those of you that are in the Valley area, that's Valley area, isn't it?
Yeah.
Those of you who are in the Valley area, check out Tapia Brothers. I love that. North of the 101. Okay. In Encino. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Donna, you're just a wealth of information. I loved when we had the Labyrinth in Burbank that we had created. I mean, the fact that it was our creation to begin with kind of made me very happy. But I loved it because we could walk it anytime we wanted, for the most part. Yes, we had to lay it down. But while it was down, it was open. Oh, thank you, Cac. Thank you. Boy, you're working hard today. I appreciate that. Thank you. Lots of connections. Print out a labyrinth and try just walking. Now, it can be a little frustrating doing a finger labyrinth on a one-dimensional labyrinth. Let me warn you ahead of time. Because you kind of I want to. Okay, let's make this mine. I like to kind of close my eyes and just soft focus while I'm walking a labyrinth. And you can fall off the path if you do that on a finger labyrinth. That's why I love this one so much, because it is embossed and it keeps me where I'm supposed to be. But go to the labyrinth locator and give it a try. Find a labyrinth near you. It is well worth the questing. Well worth it. And you will get answers. You can't help but. If you make the decision to step onto the path, you will get to center. And it seems to just brush aside the confusion and the fog and the frustration and the sense of not knowing. And you can see the path clearly before you. And when you get to the center, you find out how you got there. And it answers questions. If you are open, it will answer questions for you. I promise you that. It's just a wonderful, wonderful experience. I think everyone should do it at least once. And I know that most people who do it once will do it again and again. So that's my 2 cents worth. How are all of you? Prayer requests. Prayer requests. What can we be praying for? What in your life would you like support for? It doesn't have to be anything that's wrong. Maybe it's something that's very right that you would just like to see get clearer, get better, get bigger. What questions might you bring to the labyrinth, and what could we pray for to support you in that? Here's a question I have for you. Are you willing to let go of what becomes clear that you must let go of to move forward? And notice if something pops into your mind as you're walking the labyrinth and it says, well, you need to let go of this. Notice your resistance to that. It's all coming from within you. You already know what you need to know. You just need to awaken and reveal it. So are you willing to let go of what you know you need to let go of to move forward? And would you be willing to ask for prayer to support you with that? We're going to pray in a few minutes, so be thinking about that, would you? Be thinking about what you really want in your life and what it might take to get there. And for those of you who are thinking, because it's easy to go there, for those of you that are thinking, I'm too old. If this was 30 years ago, if this was 40 years ago, if this was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe, but it's easy to say it'll take too long. It'll take 5 years for me to get there. It'll take 10 years. So how old are you going to be if you don't do it? If you're still here, here's my theory. It's mine, and I own it. My theory is if you're still here, God isn't done with you yet. So why not get going? Why not do what your spirit, what your heart is yearning for you to do? Why not? If you die in the meantime, you die happy because you're doing what you love to do. But you probably won't, because when you're focused and when you're doing what you love to do, life just keeps happening. Trust me, I know these things. So, prayer requests, come on. If you don't give them to me, then I just pick my own and I make them up because we're just focused on what the world needs. What would it take for you to be happy? Absolutely, Brenda, thank you. Got it. Oh, it is so hard, isn't it, for us to see our pets hurting? We want to just wave them. If ever I've wanted to wave a magic wand, it's been over a pet. But they're open. they're open. They don't have as much going on in their heads about why this is such a bad thing. They just know they don't feel good. And they trust us. It's a good thing. We'll absolutely put Brandon and the dog. What's her name? I like to have names. I don't need them, I just like to have them. Feels more personal. Anybody else? Oh. Crash, boom. We're okay over here. It's all right. I don't even know why that fell. I know we're going to need a little glue. But that's okay. However, that was my magic wand jumping out of the sky, literally. I do wonder how that happened. So I suppose it's time for me to have my magic wand. Okay, so for those of you, let me get over here. Can I use it with my left hand? Sure I can. Magic wands are magic wands. Cody, okay. Cody is Brandon's dog's name. There. Anyway, put it in my right hand, I go off screen. That doesn't work. Center. My magic wand must have wanted to come out and be with all of you, so here she is. Isn't she lovely? She jumped off a shelf and out of her box, so I'm not entirely sure what she is trying to tell me, but we'll just trust, shall we? All right, then, I'm going to begin to pray. If you think of something, or if that thing that's running around in your head finally says, me, put it in the chat box. While I'm still praying, I will catch it. So, I invite you to close your eyes, or just soft focus, if that's more comfortable for you. The whole point is not to keep you in the dark, but to avoid being distracted by outside things, which we so often are. The power of the labyrinth, I think, is that it helps us to focus, to stay focused, and to get to center, which is where we want to be. So please know with me that wherever you are in your life, on your path, in the moment, you are with God. Because you can be no other way. There is no place else to be. There is nothing else to be but with God, with Spirit, with the creative force of the universe. Always. Always we are in it and with it and part of it. No matter what. But let us take this time together to recognize that to be totally in it, in our awareness, in our consciousness, to be consciously aware that we are individualized centers in the life of God. And that within us is all that we need, all we have ever needed, all we will ever need to experience that. And to live in the kingdom and the power and the glory. Always. And I know that because we are one with that power, because we are one voice in the voice of God, so the words that we speak have the same power as God's words in the beginning. Let there be light. Let there be. illumination, let there be enlightenment. May our leadership be enlightened. May they exhibit wisdom and understanding and peace and love and commitment to a higher truth. On Wednesday, Jennifer asked for the world love. I repeat that again. May the world be embraced in and aware of and conscious of and sharing of love. May Brandon be at peace. Aware of the love that Cody has shared and what a miracle that is. And may Cody's spirit rise up and create the highest and the greatest good for this loyal pet. May everything within it respond now to our awareness of her perfection and her wholeness. May all within the sound of my voice experience love at the deepest possible level. And out of that love, act according to its guidance. May all who can hear my voice speak the truth and take a stand for it, each in their own way. And may we find peace in our hearts, wisdom in our minds, and strength in our bodies, to be active centers in the life of God. May we all find health and clarity and make the decisions based upon the highest truth and the deepest understanding. May we have success in all of our endeavors. Specifically, may Kak find success with her writing projects and real angels to stand with her and guide her. May Brenda find strength in the love she so generously shares. May this be a good and a happy day, whatever day it may be. And may we today and tomorrow and each day that follows become more aware of the spirit within us, clearer in our understanding of what it is we are called to do. May we stand at the center of our lives and say to life itself, here I am, send me, show me, guide the way, and I will go there. May our hearts be full, may our minds be clear, may our voices be loud. May our dreams be outrageous. And may they all come true. In deepest gratitude, we simply acknowledge that there is spirit within us. Today we claim it, we accept it, and we let it be so. Gratefully. And so it is. Let's see, we have a closing song. Yay, thank you. Just in case you need it, here's a little magic. With God, all things are possible. And you are with God. So get it. Have the most wonderful rest of your weekend. Have a terrific week. I'll be here Wednesday at 7 if you want to report back and let me know what you're getting into and how well it is going. Let me know. I'll be here Wednesday at 7 and I would love for you to join me. Bring your prayers and your prayer requests and your fabulous consciousness. I'll be here Wednesday and back again next Sunday at noon. Don't forget the closing song. You're very welcome, Donna. Thank you all. I love you. Go with God.